You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is having a blessed and glorious Saturday afternoon. It's evening now, but I hope you had a good day. All right, if I can get some 5x5s in the chat, I would really appreciate that. I am going to be pulling the chat over onto my screen and turning it on slow mode, just because there's probably going to be a bunch of people here. I'm going to give it a minute before I pull it on slow mode, though, because I want to make sure that we have a ton of people. Because if we don't have a ton of people, then I am just going to leave it on regular mode. Hi, everybody. Looks like I have voice and we have video. Looks like everybody is hearing me, saying lots of hellos. Hello from Oregon. I saw a hello from Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Hello from Australia. Hello from Colorado. Live free or die. Probably Vermont there, was that? Or is that New Hampshire? I don't know. One of the two. Let's see. Who else? We got Southeast Minnesota in the house. Got the notification. Good. We got it. We got a Michigander here. Good stuff. We got California. Another Northern Michigan. Minnesota. Another Michigan. Wow, we got lots of Michigan people in the house. It is cold in Michigan, I hear right now, you guys. Let's see. Yep, everybody can hear me. Good stuff. Volume is perfect. Awesome. Hello from North Carolina. Hello from Wisconsin. Hello from California. Another Australia. Long Island. Houston. Mississippi. Maine. Texas. Wow, Kentucky. Laramie, Wyoming. Beautiful country. Colorado Springs. Virginia. Massachusetts, another Louisville, Kentucky, Alabama, Tacoma, Washington. Hello from Tennessee, Connecticut, Arkansas, from the Netherlands. Awesome. Pennsylvania. All right. Looks like it's time to go into slow mode, guys, because my eyes are burning out of my head. Hold on just one moment. I'm going to get that set here. I've also got a special treat for you guys. I do have pictures of my dogs tonight, so you guys can see what Muffin and Chi-Chi look like. Let me see here. Advanced settings. We're going to go slow mode every 25 seconds, guys, because that should allow it to be just fast enough for me to catch it as it's going by. All right, so now we're back. I've got the chat here. The last one I see is Ohio and Santa Fe, New Mexico. Sonic Liberation and Gladys Moore. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Another Northern Michigan. Lots of Northern Michigans tonight. Wow. You guys, I know it's got to be cold up there. I'm in the Midwest, so it's not as cold as it used to be when I was in Michigan, but pardon me. Got some friends down in Ohio. They had incredible amounts of snow, just like we did. Fort Knox, Kentucky, Southern California, Louisiana, Nevada, Ohio. Tennessee loves POTUS. Yes, Tennessee does love POTUS, as they should. All right, so here I'm going to flip to the desktop. And I'm going to pop out pictures of my dogs. We're going to start with the dog pictures, guys. So let me try and make this bigger. There she is. This is my little dwarf beagle, Muffin. Hopefully you guys can see her. Looks like we do have the communist state of New York, Hawaii, Texas, Wisconsin, California, another Wisconsin. MAGA Muffin, this is our mascot. This is Muffin. Here she is. She's looking away. She's looking at her brother right there. Now here she is looking at me because I was trying to get her attention. And now she's looking up at me and licking her lips because I'm about to give her a treat. And then there's another one with her mouth closed. Okay, so now this is Cisco right here. Now I just want to point out, you guys, they were chewing a rawhide on the bed earlier today, and that's what that is. I just didn't have time to wash the sheets, or excuse me, the comforter before I showed you guys. Okay, so there's Chi-Chi. There's a little bit better picture. Yeah, getting better. There he is. There he is. What a handsome boy. Chi-Chi is the best looking Chihuahua I've ever seen. He's a good boy. He's a very, very good boy. Now, here is Muffin. Oh, look, she's trying to hide that rawhide. That's a dog, Walter. Yep, that's a dog. He's tiny, but he's a good dog. Now, again, this is a rawhide. They were chewing up rawhides on the bedspread today. I just got to wash it. Okay, and then here's Muffin eating a rawhide from my hand. She is so sweet. You have the big version of Muffin. Yeah, I'm sure. You can see, look at Muffin's legs. She's got like these dwarf legs. So they're both small to medium dogs. Chi-Chi is definitely small. Muffin is definitely medium because she's nice and thick. But she's got like the body the size of a regular beagle. But then like her head and her legs are small. Yeah. She's a very, very good dog. Sunday, too, thank you so much for the super chat for the dog treats. Thank you very much. They will be put to good use. They love rawhides, but it's very necessary for them to eat rawhides because they got to keep those teeth clean. Chi-Chi actually have a dentist appointment on Tuesday. James Blank says, where is RBG, though? God, yeah, where is RBG? I don't know, man. I wish I knew. I actually had someone who is an unnamed source at this point. Yes, Lev, LJ, they do get along. All of my animals. Sometimes Muffin and Chi-Chi will chase my cats. But, you know, I mean, they got to keep them in check. Yeah, they're Wells Fargo. We didn't talk about that yesterday. We didn't get a chance to mention that Wells Fargo was experiencing some outages across the country. Their ATMs were not allowing people to withdraw money. I haven't heard anything else about it. So if anybody specifically had any instances of that, I'd love to hear about it. Rebecca Steinweg says, hi, all from Seaverville, Tennessee. Yeah, that's right. The Chihuahua is actually a purebred Chihuahua. And what do I look like? I look like a man with a face, and you know, I've been told I'm pleasing to the eye. Hi, RP from Sydney, my American friends. Eminem, hey, good to see you again. I didn't realize you were in Australia, my friend. Thank you so much. Watching from Paris. Rico Coin Report says, watching from Paris. Wow, Portland, Oregon native expat. Rico Coin Report, are you some type of Bitcoin millionaire? Is that how you got to out to Paris as an expat? Or you don't have to tell us. You don't have to tell us. But with a name like Rico Coin Report, I just imagine that it's something to do with crypto. All right. So yes, you guys. I did get a tip on the missing Supreme Court justice. All right. Remember that that post that I had from 8chan. And the 2.5 cats, they're gonna be on next week. I have to get them to stand still. Yeah, Jason Richards, where is FBI Anon? I think FBI Anon, maybe FBI Anon was a LARP. Lady Q says your fur babies are adorable. Maga Muffin, thank you so much, honey. I appreciate that super chat. So my at this point, the unnamed source, you do report on Bitcoin. Good stuff, Rico. Now, is your name Rico, or is that like the law, the Rico law? Hit like for Red Pill 78, please. Cisco Lady Liberty says so. Thank you very much if you guys would. If you would hit like, I'd really appreciate it. And then maybe if I could just get a count on how many likes we have. Vigilant from Iceland. Oh man, I've always wanted to go to Iceland. I hear that Iceland is beautiful. If anybody knows who the music artist named Bjork is, she's from Iceland, and in her videos, she's got these just amazing sweeping shots of the countryside, and it's beautiful there. The half cat is not here tonight. The half cat is sleeping in his cat apartment. Let's see. So I had no problem taking $300. Okay, Wells Fargo ATM today. Yeah. Love you too, Cisco Lady Liberty. I did see that our favorite Anon posted, you guys. We're going to talk about that. But first, I have to finish this thought about the missing Supreme Court justice. Remember that post that I showed that said that she was in some facility in Nevada, and somebody got in touch with me. Apparently, they used to... Wait, Lucky is a beagle that loves to chase anything that moves. Yes. Oh, look at that. It's Muffin's cousin. Aw, that's so sweet. So... this individual had a tip and knew of the facility that was mentioned in this post. So they are getting in touch with someone who still works there and is going to report back to us and see whether or not our missing Supreme Court justice is there. Now, if everyone would please be so kind, I know that the like button is right there. If you could, just go ahead and hit that like button, because that will tell YouTube to tell other people that this is a good show, that they need to come and watch it. I would certainly appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me. Now we are going to get to our favorite Anon's new posts from today. We're going to do a bit of a breakdown. We're going to talk about some other posts that are referenced in that. Someone says we have 1.5 thousand people in the chat. That's awesome. One of my cats is here right now, Simone. She's the allowed one. Hello from the Netherlands. Yes, all right, here we go. First of all, I wanted to talk about these Donald Trump tweets from today. First of all, a couple hours ago, he said the Democrats just don't seem to want border security. They are fighting border agents' recommendations. If you believe news reports, they are not offering much on the wall. They look to be making this a campaign issue. The wall will get built one way or another. So apparently there was some type of agreement made in Congress where they want to give the president a quarter of the amount of money that he wants to build this wall. And now there are Democrats saying that they support a wall, but only if it's a smart wall. Well, if it's a wall that's built, it's smart. So let's see. James Blank says, FBI Anon posted on Saturday the 26th. 2 Fridays from Friday the 1st would be the 15th. See, that's what I thought, and everybody was telling me it was the 8th. All right, so maybe you're wrong, maybe not, but, you know, when you've got these Anons posting, it could be quite literally anything, okay? There could be a timeline, and then it gets moved because there are things that we are not privy to. All right. Yes, how did RBG vote yesterday on a case for Louisiana? How was that possible? Personally, I don't think that it is possible. Hey, Patriot Lady Biker, glad you're here. Baby Love 78, glad you're here as well. All right, so, and then, of course, the big news of the day, besides the fact that the Democrats are trying to give Trump some money, just not enough money, is that Elizabeth Warren has officially thrown her hat in. President Trump said today Elizabeth Warren, sometimes referred to by me as Pocahontas, joined the race for president. It's official. Will she run as our first Native American presidential candidate, or has she decided that after 32 years this is not playing so well anymore? See you on the campaign trail, Liz. Yes, we need to vape first, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Got to get a good one in. RBG is probably busy on a respirator. All right. Now, he also made a comment on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal. I think it is very important for the Democrats to press forward with their Green New Deal. It would be great for the so-called carbon footprint to permanently eliminate all planes, cars, cows, oil, gas, and the military, even if no other country would do the same. Brilliant. I'm gonna retweet that one right now. Oh, thank you, President Trump. President Trump has got an amazingly caustic wit. Everything he says is loaded. I love it so much. So let's talk about soon-to-be presidential hopeful Elizabeth Warren. Oh, and Muffin's here. Come on. Okay. Trump campaign responds to Senator Warren's presidential announcement. Master Templar says, I missed your stream yesterday, but I wanted to ask if you know about the current theory about how the Eye of the Sahara is the site of Atlantis and that it was a global civilization. I know about that theory, and I'll comment on it when we get done with this article here. But thank you for the super chat, Master Templar. So President Donald Trump's campaign dinged Senator Elizabeth Warren Saturday afternoon for being a fraud after the Massachusetts Democrat announced her intention to run for president. And then this is the tweet embedded right here. Elizabeth Warren, oh no, I'm sorry, it's not, has already been exposed as a fraud by the Native Americans she impersonated and disrespected to advance her professional career, and the people of Massachusetts she deceived to get elected. Not only also all those jobs that she deceived to be hired as a minority. Campaign manager Brad Parscale wrote in a statement. Warren announced her candidacy in a tweet on Saturday. He added, the American people will reject her dishonest campaign and socialist ideas like the Green New Deal that will raise taxes, kill jobs, and crush America's middle class. The statement appears designed to tie Warren in with lawmakers who push the so-called Green New Deal, a lofty proposal intended to reset a moribund climate change fight. Patty Patriot says, some treats for the kitty, too. Thank you so much, Patty. I will definitely get them some catnip tomorrow and maybe some little liver treats or something like that. So here is Elizabeth Warren's statement. Oh, no, this is the statement on Elizabeth Warren, which is what we just read. So I like Brad Parscale, too. I've seen a couple interviews with him, and I like what he's got to say. So the resolution, which is being pushed by Democratic New York Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, calls for 10-year national mobilizations towards a series of goals aimed at fighting global warming, NPR reported. A separate fact sheet claims The plan would mobilize every aspect of American society on a scale not seen since World War II. Wow. Elizabeth Warren, this is probably the best thing that could happen. If Elizabeth Warren ends up being the candidate, okay, going against Donald Trump in 2020, she has zero hope, okay? Donald Trump will wipe up the floor with her at every debate. He will constantly remind people of what a fraud she is, and she will just basically crash and burn. Occasional Cortex's GND hit a few embarrassing missteps out of the gate. A frequently asked questions document in the New York Representative posted online promised of economic security to all who are unable or unwilling to work, which was also missing from the legislation Democrats pushed Thursday. The Republican National Committee also responded to Warren's decision to enter the fray. We've always known that Elizabeth Warren's socialist policies were far outside the mainstream, RNC spokesman Michael Ahrens noted in a press statement following the announcement. But Warren's disastrous handling of her false minority claims and her refusal to apologize until now has everyone, including her own supporters, cringing at her campaign, he said. Not President Donald Trump. Donald Trump is welcoming her because this will be the biggest joke. Okay, the Democrats, how many people do they even have as potential frontrunners here in this election in 2020? Yes, Muffin definitely has more Native American in her than Elizabeth Warren does. So let's see here. Hold on. All right, so to comment about Atlantis, yes, I have seen some videos. There's one guy, Jimmy, Bright Insight. I really like Bright Insight. I don't know if this is the kind of thing that he would watch, but it's, I thought maybe, I think we have similar politics, the things I've heard him talk about. He's definitely sounded off on some things that resonated with me. But he made this great series of videos about how Atlantis is the eye of the Sahara. I would highly recommend everybody check it out after we're done here. We are going to talk about our favorite Anons posts for the day. So this is where we're at, guys. I don't have the I don't have the map pulled up. I pulled it up on 8chan. All right. So not only this, but we also have the follow-ups. Oh shoot! Hold on. That what happened to this post here? Great, there it is. Okay, we got some follow-ups having to do with Mueller. Let's see here. Oh, and March Madness, that's right. All right, so beginning here, optics are important. Stealth bombers, silent. Reread Mueller regarding designed to drops. Probe conclusion coming. Less than 30, guys. Less than 30 days until the Mueller probe is ended. Cannot wait to see that. Now, after the Mueller probe has ended, the declassify can happen. All right? Now, coincidence, conclusion occurring as new AG installed. What is the purpose of Whitaker? Whitaker was brought in to just mop this stuff up because he has nothing to be afraid of. Reread the drops regarding the Scaramucci model. All right, remember, Anthony Scaramucci was brought in so that they could expose people like Reince Priebus and Sean Spicer and get rid of them. Now, the purpose, exactly. Who did Scaramucci remove? Spicer and Priebus. Effective? Yes. Optics important? Yes. The reason, they're talking about optics here, it's the reasons behind their removal. They could not go in there and force them out. They had to make them want to leave. Oh my gosh, you guys. And I think that there is another post while we're sitting here, so we'll get to that one. All right, so what occurs post-installed blockade removal? The blockade being the Mueller investigation. The D-class happens after the blockade removal. Rod Rosenstein, complete removal. Yes, after the ending of the investigation and the installation of Barr. OIG release of findings, yes, once the Mueller investigation has ended. Then how are they preparing to combat the narrative? That's vital to them, okay? So they are trying to combat this new narrative with these new investigations in Congress. House Intel launch of more fake investigations in attempt to retain false narrative and claim political attacks if investigated, prosecuted themselves. So now, if they become the subject of investigations, they will claim that they are being persecuted because they are actually investigating the president right now. Okay, so now, AS, Adam Schiff, that would be Adam Schiff, chairman of the Intelligence Committee. SDNY AG. Now, this, I don't know, maybe Schneiderman, Democrat, New York Attorney General. That's just something I'm saying. Attempts to retain blockade. Attempts to prevent public release of the truth. 0 leaks regarding Huber. Okay, so now people who say that that there is nothing going on. Oh, I just had to make sure we were on the right thing so you guys could see. References T30 references hours, not days. Tony, wow. Well, if that's true, Tony, we're gonna find out very soon. Very, very soon. Oh, Muffin's having a sneeze attack, you guys. Attempts to prevent public release of the truth. 0 leaks regarding Huber. 0. Do not mistake public silence for inaction. This is not another 4-year election, you guys. Okay. Many people have said this before. Oh, but Huber, but Huber. Oh, it's just like but Marussia. Bunch of concern trolls. Just because something is not being leaked, I know that we are all used to this age of leaked. Southern District of New York. Okay, AG. Thank you, guys. Yes, don't they have some type of investigation in New York, you guys, about Trump, and they're like going into his finances and stuff. Yep, thank you. I appreciate you guys giving me that. I was wondering about that. All right, so let's take a look at these Mueller posts. Okay, from October 9th, statement release 10/9/18, Presidential Authority 1. That's what I think it says. Okay, general statement. We understand that there is extreme fatigue and frustration regarding the wheels of justice. Slow. Exclude emotion and personal desire. Instead, use logic and critical thinking based on situational awareness. Undo a lifetime of evil and corruption, infestation in the span of less than 2 years with a corrupt DOJ and FBI in place. This is a miracle, guys. Process and planning. Law and order. Military op. This has been by the book, 100%. President Trump has come into office and in less than 2 years almost completely drained the swamp of everyone with the real power. Now it's gotten down to the point where they just need to do a final sweep up. How can you make arrests non-military prior to first fully cleaning out corrupt elements at the top of those departments, FBI, DOJ, that oversee investigation and prosecution in the United States? They themselves are the very ones engaged in the illegal treasonous acts. James Comey, director, fired. Andrew McCabe, deputy director, fired. Jim Rybicki, chief of staff and senior counselor, fired. James Baker, general counsel, fired. Bill Priestap, director of counterintelligence, Strzok's boss, cooperating witness, power removed. Peter Strzok, Deputy Assistant Director of Counterintelligence, fired, still working for the clowns. Lisa Page, Office of General Counsel, fired, forced. Mike Cortan, Assistant Director for Public Affairs, fired. Josh Campbell, Special Assistant to Comey, fired. David Loffman, Chief of the Justice Department's Counterintelligence and Export Control Section, National Security, HRC email investigation, forced, fired. Josh Carlin, Assistant Attorney General, Head of DOJ's National Security Division, fired, forced. Sally Yates, Dirty Sally Yates, Deputy Attorney General and Acting Attorney General, fired. Mary McCord, Acting Assistant Attorney General, Acting Head of DOJ's National Security Division, fired, forced. Bruce Orr, Associate Deputy Attorney General, demoted 2 times, cooperating witness, power removed, termination imminent. Rachel Brand, Associate Attorney General, number 3 behind Deputy A.G. Rosenstein, fired, forced, batter's box. Michael Steinbach, John Glacalone, Randy Coleman, Tricia Anderson, Kevin Kleinsmith, Tashina Gar, Sally Moyer. How do you ensure those prosecuted, non-military, would receive an impartial judgment based on the rule of law? Think federal judge rulings, obstruction, POTUS granted constitutional authority. How do you ensure appeals to the U.S. Supreme Court are evaluated impartially based on the rule of law? Think Justice K, 5-4. We got to get to 5-4 to flip, though. Military law versus criminal law. Enemy combatant. How do you navigate around installed blockade? Mueller designed to take in evidence needed to expose the deep state. Mueller designed to take in evidence to expose the deep state. DOJ block regarding Mueller's evidence ongoing investigation. Now, he was designed to take in evidence to expose the deep state by the president. Now, Mueller was also designed to stall for time until midterm elections to terminate all House, Senate ongoing investigations. Also designed to safeguard the Democratic Party base. False narrative regarding Russian collusion, POTUS cheated, evil, sky falling, in effort to divide and mobilize for future protests, riots, threats, violence, FFs, etc. Mueller designed to provide fake news with ammunition to sway public opinion, obstruct foreign and domestic agenda, fuel impeachment, removal, fuel anti-POTUS division, prevent unity, etc. Mueller designed to demonstrate to foreign players that the old guard still pulls strings. Mueller designed to mobilize Democratic Party for midterm vote win. Mueller designed to push Democratic Party backers to donate, GoFundMe, Democratic Party. Mueller designed as public outcry excuse should criminal charges be brought against them. We are being politically attacked because Mueller. How do you remove installing blockade? D-class, D-class, D-class. How do you navigate around installed corrupt FBI DOJ? Use a stealth bomber. Who must authorize firing of FBI DOJ officials? Why did McCabe try to take Sessions out? What was the Sessions Senate confirmation vote? 52-47. Number 175. Logical thinking versus clickbait. All right, so you can see here our favorite Anon starts off with the reason that POTUS installed Mueller. But these reasons are all why the Democrats wanted to install Mueller. Now, I have said many times, yes, we're going to talk about the next post, but we've got one more thing about Mueller being installed. Mueller is there in order to bring all the information about the deep state. Okay, he's also stalling for time, not only for the Democrats, but also for POTUS. Now, Mueller could be playing both sides, but he knows that no matter what happens, that at the end of the day, he is going to be held accountable by President Trump. So Mueller is not stupid, all right? Mueller knows that he has to play ball. Keep your eye on the ball. Midterms and memes. Now, I forgot how many spaces were in here. Do you guys remember what was in that negative space? Remember, POTUS already ordered the D-class. Rod Rosenstein pushed back hard. OIG tasked to review, determine sensitive info. OIG works with Huber, important to remember. Huber reports directly to Sessions, or he did. Important to remember. Was the D-class already cleared for release? Yes. Was the gambit played by Rod Rosenstein to stall and delay post-election banking on the D's House win? POTUS, Air Force One, Rod Rosenstein, an enemy who feels safe and in control, is an enemy who, POTUS, Air Force One, Rod Rosenstein, Mueller end. That's when they talked about it. Important to remember. How do you navigate around the installed blockade? Mueller designed to take in evidence needed to expose the deep state. All right, these are all the same things that were put in there in the previous post. Okay. Now, what is next month, guys? March Madness. We've already talked about March Madness. If we got 30 days from today, from the post today, then that may be, somebody said 30 hours, but I would think that it happens in March because we got those March Madness posts. Now, let's go ahead and reset, and let's look at the new drops. Post 2678. Russia. Fake news attacks, anyone? Ask yourself why. What happens when the news no longer reports facts? What happens when the news no longer reports truth? Enemy of the people. Controlled. Let's go ahead and check out this NBC News article. Oh, yeah, that's the one. We talked about this on my show last week. Russian troll accounts purged by Twitter pushed the Hanan and other theories. I got to get that out of here because I'm going to get my video banned for just having that up. So, yeah, yes, sour grapes. FBI Anon may have lied, or maybe they were indicted and it's just not public. We don't know. That's the thing. The only Anon that I truly trust is this Anon. And even here, we know that sometimes disinformation is necessary. Watch the watch. Yeah, watch the watch. Somebody had shown me a post earlier. I tried to find it and I couldn't, which was in reference to the deltas. You've got the 0 delta, the 1 minute delta, and they all are supposed to mean something. If somebody can send that to me, that would be great, because I'd like to pull it up. And then next, we've got a NASA article. Wow. Space Shuttle, Countdown 101. Oh, man, I think this just might be the reason why, the countdown. The countdown clock is one of the most watched timepieces in the world. This is the watch. On this page, you'll learn how the countdown operates and what milestones to watch for during our live launch coverage. Wow. Is there a T-minus 30 on here? No, it just starts at 43. Well, looks like we are being told by our favorite Anon that the clock has started. The countdown has begun. Oh, man. Cryptocurrent. What does that mean, Adam Wiggins? Cryptocurrent. Let's see here, guys. Wow, 2.3 thousand people. Wow, I'm showing 2,430 people. This is great, you guys. I'm so happy that everyone is here. Thank you very much for joining me on your Saturday night. Let's take a look here. I can get rid of... Actually, I do want to go and check this out real quick. Yeah, there's going to be so many notifications. I'm not going to be able to do it. Okay. All right, so the next article I wanted to talk about, yes, it was 314 on the Q Watch. Yes. Never tired of winning. So we've got some newly released emails that Judicial Watch did some excellent work and was able to get out. Oh, shoot, I totally forgot to do the preview. That's right. There we go. I can see it now. So newly released emails show Clinton campaign worker worked with pro-Russian party. Judicial Watch today released new documents. We'll go ahead and take a look at those documents here in just a moment. From the U.S. Department of State, showing the Podesta Group worked on behalf of the pro-Russian Ukrainian political group Party of Regions. The new documents also show longtime Obama and Clinton counselor John Podesta lobbying on behalf of his brother's firm. Judicial Watch obtained the documents in a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit against the State Department filed on November 20th, 2017. The lawsuit was filed after the State Department failed to respond to a September 13th, 2017 FOIA request for all records of communication between any official, employee, or representative of the Department of State and any principal, employee, or representative of the Podesta Group. All records produced related to any meetings or telephonic communications between any official, employee, or representative of the Department of State and any principal, employee, or representative of the Podesta Group. All records regarding the European Center for a Modern Ukraine. The FOIA request covers the time frame from January 1st, 2012 to the present. Now, a March 28, 2013 email from now Deputy Executive Secretary in the Office of the Secretary of State Baxter Hunt shows the Podesta Group led by Tony Podesta, a Clinton bundler and brother of Clinton's 2016 campaign chairman John Podesta, represented the Party of Regions, a pro-Kremlin political party in Ukraine. In the March 2013 email to a number of officials, including then U.S. Foreign Service Officer John Tefft, who would go on to be U.S. Ambassador to Russia in 2014, and State Department Director for the Office of Eastern Europe Alexander Kazanov, Hunt writes, see below. I also stressed to them the need for GOU to take concrete steps to get new SBA with IMF and avoid PFC loss of GSP. I don't know what any of that means. Podesta Group is noted among host of Ukraine lobbyists in article. I'll forward an article on low side. Ben Chang and Mark Tavalardis of the Podesta Group, which is representing the Party of Regions, told us they were working with Kliuvev on a visit he plans to make to Washington in early May. They are working to broaden the POR's contacts on the Hill, including setting up a meeting for Kyiv with Chris Smith and advised Kiev to stop trying to justify their actions against Tymoshenko in Washington. They also noted that during his recent meeting with former EC President Prodi, HFAC Chairman Ed Royce said that Congress will not be enacting sanctions legislation against Ukraine. Now, the Party of Regions served as the pro-Kremlin political base for Ukraine's former president Viktor Yanukovych, who fled to Russia in 2014. Like Paul Manafort, who is currently under indictment in the errant special counsel Russia investigation, the Podesta Group had to retroactively file Foreign Agent Registration Act disclosures with the Justice Department for Ukrainian-related work. The filing states that the Podesta Group provided for the nonprofit European Center for a Modern Ukraine government relations and public relations services within the United States and Europe to promote political and economic cooperation between Ukraine and the West. The Podesta Group conducted outreach to congressional and executive branch offices, members of the media, non-governmental organizations, and think tanks. Unlike Manafort and his partner Rick Gates, the Mueller special counsel operation hasn't indicted anyone from the Podesta Group. Also, the new emails show longtime Obama and Clinton counselor John Podesta lobbying on behalf of the Podesta Group's efforts to secure a maintenance facility from JetBlue and Lufthansa for Puerto Rico. In a June 27, 2013 email, former U.S. ambassador to Germany and current New Jersey Governor Philip D. Murphy writes to John Podesta, Minister Counselor for Economic Affairs at the American Embassy in Berlin, Seth Winnick, and others. JetBlue and Lufthansa are considering 2 locations for a maintenance center, Puerto Rico or Mexico. The governor of Puerto Rico wants his badly. The question is, can we get to LH at the right levels and make the case? Either John or colleague or John's brother, Tony, or colleague will get us more details. Winnick then writes to John Podesta, Washington alerted us to this advocacy issue and we are on it. Phil will try to connect in the next few days and we will follow up. Later that day, in an email sent to his brother Tony Podesta and Winnick, John Podesta writes, Thanks, Seth. The governor is a friend of mine. My brother Tony represents Puerto Rico and will follow up with the details. Winnick replies to John and Tony Podesta. Happy to help on this one. I think we have the details we need for now from the Select USA at Commerce, but we'll come back if any issue arises. Puerto Rico was selected by the airlines for the facility to service A320s in 2014. Judicial Watch is waiting to hear on any additional documents the State Department may produce in response to the FOIA lawsuit about the Podesta Group. By the standards of the Mueller Special Counsel investigation, these emails alone would have been enough for the Podestas to have been hauled before a grand jury or worse, said Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. These emails are a stark reminder that the Mueller Special Counsel operation seems more interested in the alleged foreign ties of the Trump team rather than Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama's associates. Well, that's the way it appears at the moment. But hopefully, once the Mueller Special Counsel investigation ends, now that this information has come to light, the acting DOJ Matthew Whitaker perhaps can do something about it, or the new DOJ AG William Barr might be able to do something about it instead. Well, you guys, I had a really good time with you the other night on the State of the Union. Some of you have noted to me that the State of the Union program I did is no longer showing on YouTube. And that's right, because some Polish television company made a claim against it, and YouTube awarded it to them without any, talk to me. And they gave me the opportunity to fight it, and I have fought it. Chris Pix says, how is Podesta still walking? Even my SEX doll has a shocked look on her face. That's right. That's right. Podesta should not be walking around. Hopefully something is going to be done. I cannot imagine that either Podesta brother will not face some recrimination after everything they've done. But so the Polish television company claimed a section about 10 minutes into the State of the Union, or, less than that. It was when the president was walking in. Okay, the president is waving, okay, he's saying hello, and Congress is clapping. Congress is clapping, okay? And there was 1 minute of Congress clapping that this Polish television company claimed for my video. So they gave all of the revenue from that video to Poland, to this Polish company, and I have to fight it. All right, so I have to wait 30 days to see if they are going to to overturn the copyright strike. I cannot believe that they will allow that to go through, because I don't understand how they could legitimately claim Congress clapping for the Podestas, not for the Podestas, for the president. So it's got to turn around. It's got to come back to me. I will tell you guys, though, that Cheryl Smith, there's nothing wrong with being Polish. It's the fact that this is a Polish television company claiming a broadcast in America of the president giving the State of the Union address. That's the problem. That's the problem. Who is this Anon? Vicky, who are you asking about? Which Anon? Are we talking about the 17th letter of the alphabet? Because that's what I was talking about earlier. That is such BS, Gina. I was really upset about it. I'll tell you what, guys, though. I already ordered those MAGA hats that people donated to me to get. So that was preemptive, and I'm sure that I will win, you guys. Just pray for me. I'm sure that I'll win. There's no way that they can legitimately claim that it's theirs. I mean, it was a broadcast. It was a feed from the White House, okay? So there's no way. There's no way, all right? And, I do want to mention something too, guys. There is a new streaming service that has potentially asked me to do a trial run to broadcast on their service. So I may be doing multiple streams. So I may be doing like streams here and then on this other service. When it gets worked out, I will let you guys know what's going on. It's I can't say anything more than that, but I'm hoping that if this is going to work out, that maybe it'll be a new place where we can go, so that we don't have to rely on having to worry about getting cut off. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to diversify. So that I can get my videos to other places. But, I've only got so much time. So right now, everybody comes to YouTube. YouTube is giving me a little bit of trouble, but not too much, enough to make me go at this point. But for right now, we're going to be here, and hopefully I will have some videos other places too. Maybe deeper dive investigations on this other place, because there are certain things I can't say here on YouTube. Yes, never cross the streams, Aaron. Martha Keeling, I do vape. Everybody, we're going to take a vape break. I need to get a drink of water. Skitties, you can get a MAGA hat. Just go search online. They sell them online all over the place. You can get them on, I think the President Trump's website has them direct from there. All right, guys. Thanks for letting me take that break and get that off my chest. Been kind of bugged by that today. Diversify, stop being racist. Will, I don't know what you're talking about there. Oh, God, diversity. Okay. The power of unfiltered news. Trump approval is up 7 points in 1 week and following the State of the Union. This is amazing, you guys. I told you, the whole point of that broadcast was for President Trump to talk to the American people and unite them. Live, love, and get ready says, there are so many windows, those Dems cannot afford the blinds. Love you, bro. Thank you. I love you, too. Thanks for that super chat. President Trump's approval rating is up 7 points since last Friday, February 8th. President Trump's approval ratings have reached 50% on Friday following the State of the Union address on Tuesday. Barack Obama's approval rating was at 49% at a similar point in his presidency. This is also despite national mainstream media reporting negatively on the highly successful President Trump 92% of the time. This is also... Barack Obama had a cakewalk with the media. That's right. They gave him a free pass on everything. When President Trump gets a chance to tell his side of the story unfiltered, and he gets a chance to tell the full story with all of his accomplishments that are ignored by the state-run-in media, his approval ratings skyrocket. Trump should hold quarterly addresses to the nation. I think that's an amazing idea. Liberals fear truth and goodness. That is absolutely 100% true. James Blank says, MAGA, make Alexandria go away. I got to say, James, I think that Alexandria is great for our cause, because it makes the left look just completely fractured and unstable. So as long as she is out there chanting away and saying things that don't make sense, talking about being morally correct and factually incorrect, I think that people understand why it's so important that, you need to vote conservative and you need to support our president. All right, so next, this is great. This is actually from a month ago, guys, but someone just sent it to me the other day. My friend Rosanna on Twitter sent this over. So there were 4 federal indictments that were unsealed in Arkansas. So they were indictments against several individuals. Rumors about pending action at the federal courthouse related to the long-running public corruption probe prompted me to run a criminal docket check this morning. It showed 4 sealed indictments that have been returned this week. Indictments are often sealed, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shoot, that's it. I thought that it was going to go into more information about it. But just interesting to note that 4 sealed indictments have been unsealed in Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay, so here's an update on the Jussie Smollett case. The Chicago media and police doubt Jussie Smollett's story. Okay? So last week, obscure actor Jussie Smollett made national headlines when he claimed to have been targeted in a racist and homophobic attack. Gateway pundits Christina Layla broke the story. According to a report by TMZ, Empire star Jussie Smollett, 35, was brutally beaten by 2 white Trump supporters in ski masks at 2 a.m. in Chicago. TMZ reported that according to sources directly connected to Smollett, he was walking to Subway to get something to eat at 2 a.m. when 2 white men wearing ski masks and MAGA hats apparently put his head in a noose, poured bleach on him, and screamed, "This is MAGA country." According to TMZ, someone else also yelled, "Aren't you that F.A. from Empire?" Very quickly, things weren't adding up with Jussie's story. After reviewing hundreds of hours of surveillance footage, Chicago police still have not found video of the attack on Jussie Smollett. Hate hoax. Jussie Smollett's story falls apart. There were apparently 2 people of interest, but they were walking away from Jussie Smollett. So now it's only getting worse. Even lefty media outlets like Mediaite are starting to publicly print what people are saying privately. In short, there is near unanimity among police sources that Smollett's story is very likely not true, and that even the media outlets still regurgitating the current party line don't really believe it. Boom. But don't get your hopes up that Jussie will ever face justice if he filed a false report. The first thing you need to understand about this situation is that because of Smollett's persona and the nature of his allegation, no one in law enforcement or the news media wants any part of publicly questioning the story. Everyone knows that if you make any sort of negative implication against a black, homosexual, liberal, celebrity, victim of a horrible hate crime, that they will be roundly and severely attacked, regardless of whether they turn out to be correct. Truth, not fiction matters. My friend Matthew, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the kind words as well. Glad you're here, my friend. Oh, so this is also another great reason why Alexandria Occasional Cortex is important, because she has people like this guy surrounding her, advising her on things like the Green New Deal. From the Daily Caller, Ocasio-Cortex's advisor went viral for what he told Tucker Carlson, but he got it wrong. Democratic Rep. Alexandria Occasional Cortex and left-wing media group Media Matters teamed up to push a viral but inaccurate claim from one of her policy advisors about the contents of documents relating to her Green New Deal. Robert Hockett, a Cornell law professor who is advising Occasional Cortex on her Green New Deal, claimed on Fox News' Tucker Carlson tonight that her proposal did not include economic protections for those unwilling to work, and claimed that the phrase came from a doctored document. Well, looks like it didn't. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
All right, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says her Green New Deal will save the planet. In exchange, we just give up cars and airplanes and rebuild every structure in the United States. We'll also, by the way, need to invent brand new forms of energy that science hasn't conceived of yet. How much will this cost? That's unclear. How will we pay for it? Unknown. Who will make this happen? Well, workers, obviously, though anyone who is, quote, unwilling to work will still get paid by the government. In other words, not all of the details have been ironed out as of tonight, and that's why we're grateful that Robert Hockett is here. He's a law professor at Cornell. He's advising Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on the Green New Deal, and he joins us. Professor, thanks very much for coming on. So can I just ask the obvious question, why would we ever pay people who are, quote, unwilling to work?
We never would, right? And AOC has never said anything like that, right? I think you're referring to some sort of document that some doctored document that somebody other than us has been circulating.
Oh, I thought that came right from her. That was in the background or from her office, is my understanding.
No. She's actually tweeted it out to laugh at it. If you look at her latest tweets, it seems that apparently some Republicans have put it out there. I don't know the details.
Good. Well, then thank you for correcting me. I mean, because it seemed a little ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as the idea that we're going to build enough light rail to make airplanes unnecessary, which I think actually is from the plan.
I don't know where you got that either, Tucker. I actually believe that you're actually on our side about this if you actually read the actual plan, right? There's nothing about getting rid of anything. It's about expanding menu options, right? I mean, there are many, many things we want to be able to do now in addition to what we already do. So where's the airplane disappearance coming from? I'm not really clear on where that originates.
Well, I could actually get it for you. This is
that would be great.
Frequently asked questions released by her office. And I'm quoting from it. Maybe this is fraudulent, in which case I hope you'll correct me. Mm-hmm. But it says that the Green New Deal would, and I'm quoting, totally overhaul transportation, and that would mean, quote, building out high-speed rail at a scale where air travel would stop becoming necessary. Hawaii Senator Mazie Hirono responded to that by saying that would be hard for Hawaii. So I don't think that's made up. The senator from Hawaii.
But I mean, it apparently is being misunderstood, right? We're really talking about expanding optionality here. We're not talking about getting rid of anything, right? We're talking about basically making it cost effective to move into more modern forms of technology, more modern forms of production, which would then enable people actually cost effectively to transition to that stuff. We're talking about requiring anything or prohibiting anything. That sort of 1980s style environment.
Okay, but hold on. I don't want you to back away from what she herself has said. And all of this with the caveat that, a lot of this won't happen, maybe none of it, but these are the ideas that she's articulating. She did so on NBC last week.
I promise you, Tucker, I won't back away from anything she said. Indeed, we're pushing forward, right?
Then she said, well, yeah, at high speed.
Very high speed.
We're going to supplant all fossil fuels in 12 years.
Yes.
So
that doesn't mean stop. That doesn't mean prohibiting them. It means rendering them obsolete by doing something better. And we can do it. This is America.
Then I'm glad. It's nice to have a smart person on the show to explain this. What about air travel, which is critical to our economy? This is a continental country.
It stays the same.
Okay,
right?
but no, because that requires fossil fuel.
We're talking about carbon neutrality. Remember, we're talking about net zero emissions. That doesn't mean that there's never any burning of anything, right? I mean, until we come up with solar panel flying airplanes, of course, we're not going to...
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to correct you. I just had, because this seemed like we were making news on this show, the unwilling to work thing was in her backgrounder. That has been absolutely confirmed. You're saying no.
Definitely not.
Okay, so NBC and lots of other news outlets are saying that was in the background, and you're saying it's fraudulent.
That's erroneous, right? Now, there might be new details now that you know about that I don't, because I've been doing media all day. But the story all day...
Yeah, I think that was actually in the document. I read it as it came out.
Well, it's the wrong document, Tucker.
It's definitely the wrong...
Yeah, that's not us. No, we certainly don't believe
what you're saying is
that, right?
We're not getting rid of fossil fuels, actually, even though you just said we were.
Because we're rendering them obsolete for most purposes that they're used for now, right?
But air travel is a huge source.
Hence the word most before, right? We eliminate them for most purposes for which they're used now. By rendering them obsolete.
So I've got 2 gasoline-powered cars at home.
But imagine how much better it's going to be when it's cost-effective to drive electric cars. But that can't be done simply by individuals, right? You have to coordinate. You have to have charging stations everywhere. And, of course, individuals can't do that, right? So in that sense, the government is acting like a kind of orchestra conductor here. We're trying to coordinate some of that stuff that can only be centrally coordinated and then enable everybody to act individually within that framework, right?
Yeah, I don't fully understand what you're saying, but let me on the low end, this would be the most expensive thing that the United States has ever undertaken, including rural electrification, the Second World War. And I'm just kind of wondering, in a country that's got more debt than it has GDP, how would we pay for that?
Well, here's the key, right? Remember that we racked up enormous debt to finance the Second World War effort and the New Deal and, of course, the interstate highway system in the 50s. But here's the key point. Here's a takeaway. I want you to remember this. I hope everybody will remember this. Remember that inflation is a relation, right? It's the relation between the quantity of money and the quantity of goods. Now, if the money that you're spending is resulting in the production of a great many more goods, you have no inflation problem. More production absorbs more expenditure. The problem with the $7 trillion that was spent during the Bush years and, of course, the last tax cut was that it wasn't actually productive. But note that even that didn't bring about inflation.
Okay,
right?
we're still not getting close to it. And by the way, I'm just getting all this in my ear, and we're actually going to follow up on this next week.
Okay.
That unwilling to work line, which you're obviously embarrassed about, and you should be, of course.
No, I'm not embarrassed. It's just not us.
Document,
it's not embarrassing. No, Tucker.
No,
Tucker. No. We're not embarrassed by what's not ours. No, Tucker. We're not embarraed by what's not ours. Okay. We want to
we're going to
clarify
get to
that
the
it's
bottom
not
of that.
Yes, we are.
We're going to prove it one way or the other, and I hope you will come back.
I will.
Professor, thank you.
Thanks so much,
I'm
Tucker.
glad. I'm always grateful when people on the other side come on, including you. Thank you.
So do you guys see now why I like Alexandria Occasional-Cortex and why the people surrounding her? Because they are literally ripping the Democratic Party apart even more than they already are, okay? They are securing the demise of the Democratic Party. Because of them, the Democratic Party is even more fractured than it ever has been, okay? You've got far, far left open socialists, okay? You've got the Democratic centrists, the people who really do, want to work with Trump because they realize that they can't keep fighting him. And then you've got people that are like Nancy Pelosi, who are just obstructionists, all right? So this is a great conversation, and it really underscores how far they have gone, all right? They have completely destroyed anything the Democratic Party once, quote-unquote, stood for. Let's see. Sekant Chakrabarti, Occasional Cortex's chief of staff, said in a series of tweets Saturday that the FAQ was published by mistake. It did not match the Green New Deal's legislative texts on aspects like welfare and nuclear power. So this is what they published by mistake. A job with family-sustaining wages. It guarantees this. A job with family-sustaining wages, family and medical leave, vacations, and retirement security. Sounds great. Sounds great. High-quality education, including higher education and trade schools. Okay? High-quality health care. Clean air and water, healthy food, safe, affordable, adequate housing, and economic environment free of monopolies. Economic security to all who are unable or unwilling to work. That's the one. That's the one that gets you. We've essentially got a welfare state in so many places right now. This stuff, you can't just say that, boom, poof, we're going to do it. AOC makes great memes. That's right. I also wanted to say thank you so much, my friend Diana, for the super chat and for joining us. Sounds like you're not going to be able to be here the whole time, but luckily should be able to watch tomorrow. And then my friend John Cap, who said, keep up the great work. Thank you very, very much, John. I appreciate that, friend. So mistakes happen when doing time launches like this and coordinating multiple groups and collaborators. It's hard to have both a transparent and open process with many stakeholders while keeping all the info locked down. But what's in the resolution is the Green New Deal. Good Lord. Yeah, so yeah, get rid of airplane travel, ride your bike. Right. That's not going to work too well. Let's see. An early draft of an FAQ was clearly unfinished, and that doesn't represent the Green New Deal resolution. We got published to the website by mistake. Hockett appeared to refer to an AOC tweet that debunked a fake screenshot of the Green New Deal proposal that said it required men to urinate into milk jugs. The hoax image did not include language about those who are unwilling to work. God, you guys, I totally put that stuff from Mark Dice in my video the other day, and I had to record it in like segments. So when I put it together, I forgot to include the part that I was like, oh, guess what? It's a joke. And so I just had to cut that out of the video because I had already published it. But yeah, in case you missed it, Mark Dice made this fake tweet here. Well, it's supposed to be a page from the Green New Deal. And it said that males should urinate into an empty milk jug instead of a toilet. Let the jug of urine sit in open sunlight for at least 6 hours for sanitation. Use the recycled urine in place of water when brewing coffee or preparing frozen juice, as the leftover pee taste will be covered up by natural flavors. 27 Sparkle, thank you for that super chat. I'm glad that you like the channel. Glad you're here. Andrew Lawrence, a researcher at left-wing activist group Media Matters, tweeted out a clip of Hockett's inaccurate answers on Friday night, but claimed that Hockett had actually debunked all the conservative media lies straight to Carlson's face. Well, I don't think that happened. We just watched it. Didn't look like he did too good of a job. Occasional Cortex retweeted Lawrence's tweet to her almost 3 million followers, helping the misleading video go viral. Oh, good job. Hockett conceded that he was in the wrong in an email to the Daily Caller News Foundation on Saturday. It appears there was more than one document being discussed yesterday, only one of which I had heard about with any definiteness by late last evening after a long day of media appearances, namely the one referred to by the Congresswoman in her tweet, he wrote. I regret that we seem unknowingly to have ended up speaking about different documents for a minute during our longer and otherwise on the same page conversation last night. Neither Media Matters nor Occasional Cortex's office returned requests for comment by press time. And I do want to say thank you very much, Prepping Sapper. It amazes me how ignorant they are. Love the show, Red Pill. I love that you are here, and I'm glad that you like the show. Thank you very much. Now, this is also a great follow-up to the Roger Stone case. Tucker Carlson aired footage of the FBI's raid on Roger Stone's home. Wow. Tucker Carlson aired and narrated the FBI's raid on Roger Stone's home during his show Friday night. Stone, a longtime confidant of President Donald Trump, was charged last month on 7 counts, including 5 for making false statements to Congress, 1 for witness tampering, and 1 for obstruction of a government proceeding. Roger Stone is a sacrificial lamb. He is allowing himself to be sacrificed so that we can get discovery on all that stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and watch the video.
And found out about that. I share your concern with the possibility that a media outlet was tipped off to Mr. Stone's either indictment or arrest before it was made, that information was available to the public.
The new footage from Stone's home shows CNN arriving about an hour before agents did. The footage depicts what you'd expect if the FBI raided the home of the Mexican drug lord, maybe even SEAL Team 6 going into bin Laden's compound. For context, Roger Stone is a senior citizen accused of false statements to Congress. Take a look at what happened. It's just before 5 a.m. and an SUV with a CNN cameraman arrives first to this quiet street in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Oh, look, there's his cat.
Within minutes, the driver gets out and begins to set up his tripod. So far, no sign that anything's about to happen. But the cameraman gets back in his car with his equipment to wait. Almost exactly 1 hour later, trucks with heavily armed men arrive in front of Roger Stone's house. Immediately, CNN's cameraman jumps out of the car, camera on shoulder, capturing the footage. The feds assemble on Stone's driveway. They're wearing ballistic armor and carrying assault weapons with 30-round magazines, red dot sights, and tactical flashlights mounted to their barrel shrouds. One has his gun hanging by a strap while he carries a battering ram in his left hand. All of the men have sidearms holstered on their waists. A second camera mounted on Stone's front door shows another angle of the raid. A heavily armed FBI agent approaches the door with his gun drawn, while others stake out positions behind. It looks like a high-stakes raid, but CNN's cameraman is still 40 feet away, filming it all. One agent swings his firearm around as he scans and surveys Stone's front porch. Behind the home, a third camera captures agents approaching the back of the house from the side yard. Behind the property, a boat arrives with at least 2 agents on board. They shine a floodlight into Stone's home. Back in front, an agent pounds on Stone's door, finger next to the trigger in case something goes wrong. He tries again as he and his colleagues wait in position. Within minutes, Stone exits his home to greet the agents who have their rifles pointed at him. Stone raises his hands and spins around, apparently trying to show that he is unarmed. Another FBI agent approaches Stone from behind and cuffs him. It's just after 6 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark out. 20 minutes later, the same camera shows agents leading Roger Stone back into his house. He is barefoot. Stone is wearing a t-shirt that says, "Roger Stone did nothing wrong." The FBI and their water carriers and corporate media tell us totally commonplace. By the book, happens all the time.
Sure. So commonplace. So again, somebody mentioned that this is all a movie. That's right. Roger Stone was put on display, okay? It was necessary to show the incredible imbalance of justice in our country and why it needs to change. I love that Roger Stone t-shirt, too. Somebody also said Roger Stone's weird. Roger Stone may be eccentric, but I think that he's loyal, you know? LJ also said that he had a weird thing for Nixon. Well, you know, he got his start in politics with Richard Nixon. So he's loyal, you know? He liked Richard Nixon. I think he knew him in a way that we didn't. And I think that Richard Nixon probably was removed from office because he also was friendly with Roy Cohn, who had information on the suspected ring that was going on that we all have heard so much about recently. Now, the new footage from Stone's home showed CNN arriving about an hour before. That's what Tucker said. That's what Tucker said there. Now, that's also from Tucker. This is all commentary from Tucker, so we don't need to read it again. But it just goes to show you that we have an imbalanced justice system in our country, and it needs to change. Karma Nan, you are forgiven, my friend. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're here. So this is an article I wanted to read last night, but I ran out of time. This also highlights the imbalance in the justice system that we have. So this is from Zero Hedge, from Elizabeth Lee Voss. Did the Department of Justice protect Brenda Snipes from prosecution for ballot destruction? I think they did. This is from Disobedient Media, reposted by Zero Hedge. A vast caldera of public rage has rightfully been aimed at Debbie Wasserman Sheen Schultz and Brenda Snipes over the past few years. However, it is important to remember that Washing Machine Schultz and Snipes are merely the public faces of an extensive, deeply problematic system of corruption. It is then also essential to understand who and what mechanisms have allowed figures like Washing Machine Schultz, Snipes, the Awan brothers, and others to go unprosecuted. This issue became clearer this week when former congressional candidate Tim Canova tweeted, "I've been told it was Rod Rosenstein, the deputy AG, along with his assistant Stephen Wasserman, no doubt, who stopped a federal investigation into Broward's illegal destruction of all ballots cast in our 2016 primary against Debbie What's-Her-Rig Schultz." As readers may recall, Snipes illegally destroyed ballots from the 2016 primary race between Washing Machine and Tim Canova. The Sun-Sentinel explained Snipes' direct involvement in the destruction of ballots, writing, Canova, who was checking for voting irregularities in the race, sought to look at the paper ballots in March 2017 and took election supervisor Brenda Snipes to court 3 months later when her office hadn't fulfilled his request. Snipes approved the destruction of the ballots in September, signing a certification that said no court cases involving the ballots were pending. Snipes called the action a mistake during testimony she gave in the case, saying the boxes were mislabeled and there was nothing on my part that was intentional about destroying the contested ballots. Now, before I go on, I do need to say thank you very much, Jared Cowart, and thank you very much, Terry Fett, is it Fett, for the super chats. Thank you, you guys. I appreciate that. Now, Big League Politics also reported on May 11th, 2018, the Florida Circuit Court granted Plaintiff Canova summary judgment and found that Snipes had violated numerous state and federal statutes, including laws punishable as felonies with up to 5 years in prison. The court's ruling made clear that Snipes' destruction of ballots was illegal on several separate counts. Disobedient Media spoke with Tim Canova, who told us, I was recently informed by election officials in Florida that it's the deputy AG, Rod Rosenstein, who would have been the DOJ official making the decision not to move forward with a criminal investigation in our ballot destruction case. I also believe that Steve Wasserman, an assistant U.S. attorney at the DOJ headquarters in Washington, D.C., may have well been involved in the decision, particularly since Wasserman spoke out publicly against prosecuting Awan in the days before Awan's sentencing. Now, Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Steve Wasserman are related. Red pill. Okay, so yes, I think that Soros. I think the Soros thing was fake, you guys. Okay, so let's get a quick look at the new drop. All right, so read between the lines. Blockade end. Good to go. Oh Lord. Okay, open link. Open link. All right, you guys, we just got to finish the article real quick right here. Canova's contention that U.S. Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein may have been responsible for preventing legal consequences for Brenda Snipes is profoundly concerning. Last year, Rosenstein faced heavy criticism in the wake of the publication of the infamous FISA memo. Last year, the Daily Beast described the memo's account of surveillance abuse, saying the memo specifically names FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, along with former FBI Director James Comey. Now, the Washington Times reported The memo from Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee shows that at least one questionable surveillance warrant application was signed by Mr. Rosenstein, who already had a difficult relationship with President Trump. The memo said information supporting the application was obtained from a partisan anti-Trump dossier funded by Hillary Clinton's campaign and the Democratic Party. Needless to say, the fact that Mr. Rosenstein was directly involved with the strongly partisan activities documented by the FISA memo makes it unsurprising that he would interfere on behalf of associates of Hillary Clinton, setting the possibility that Wasserman Schultz's brother may have also been involved in protecting Snipes from prosecution aside for the moment. Canova's allegations raise a myriad of new questions, including who benefits from protecting Snipes? Probably Wasserman Schultz. Undeniably, the most obvious answer is Debbie, the alleged beneficiary of Snipes' illegal ballot destruction. Similarly, one wonders what connection such a decision may have within the DOJ's refusal to prosecute the Awan scandal, a move from which Debbie Wasserman Schultz also directly benefited. In light of this, we are led to ask, who benefits from shielding Debbie Wasserman Schultz from the blowback of multiple national scandals? What would induce the DOJ to prop up such an embarrassment? Returning to Canova's reference to Steve Wasserman, we remind our readers that the Assistant United States Attorney for the U.S. Attorney's Office is none other than Debbie Wasserman Schultz's brother. In 2017, Wasserman tweeted an article dismissing the Awan scandal and its implications for his sister. If, as Canova contends, Steve Wasserman also had a hand in protecting Brenda Snipes from criminal prosecution, it would represent a jaw-dropping means by which those responsible for national and local election rigging and even alleged espionage have been rendered untouchable. Jeffrey Fowler, thank you for the super chat, brother. Steve Wasserman, far left, right there in that picture, is pictured with Debbie Wasserman Schultz on the far right. Disobedient Media's Kenneth Whittle previously reported on the Awan scandal, writing that the brothers were accused of removing hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment from congressional offices, including computers and servers. Some congressional technology aides believe that the Awans are blackmailing representatives based on the content of their emails and files, due to the fact that these representatives have displayed unwavering and intense loyalty towards the former aides. On February 20th, 2017, the Daily Caller reported that investigators found that congressional information was being copied to an off-site server, implying that the brothers were improperly accessing information and stealing congressional property. Yes, Ringo, we know this is new. I know this is old news, but we're talking about specifically the protection of Brenda Snipes and who is involved and why it was done. And there may be people out there who don't know about the Awan brothers. There are people who have been recently red-pilled. In a separate report, Whittle noted the controversy surrounding Stephen Wasserman's possible involvement in the investigation of the Awans. Stephen Wasserman has served as an assistant U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia for the past 14 years. His involvement, in this case, in light of the relationship between Imran Awan and Debbie Wasserman Schultz, has become the subject of much debate over the past few months as investigators attempt to determine the scope of the data breach. In addition to Debbie Wasserman Schultz's involvement in the Awan scandal, the brothers' legal counsel had a direct connection with Bill and Hillary Clinton. The Daily Caller reported that Chris Gowan, the lawyer who was representing the Awans, had been a Clinton associate. Chris Gowan, Imran Awan's lawyer, is a longtime campaigner for former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. He left the public defender's office to work for former President William Jefferson Clinton and then Senator Hillary Clinton. Chris was a fact-checker for President Clinton's memoir, My Life. He also served as a traveling aide for President Clinton's national and international trips. Chris finished his tenure with the Clintons by directing the advance operations of then-Senator Hillary Clinton during the 2008 presidential election. Adding to all of this, Disobedient Media previously noted that Debbie Wasserman Schultz was reported to have threatened the U.S. Capitol Chief of Police with consequences in a heated exchange after he refused to surrender a laptop seized from Imran Awan. Okay. All right, so basically these people are all corrupt. All right, so let's get to the Anon posts. So, this is from January 3rd. Acting AG Whitaker reveals federal prosecutor still investigating GOP claims of FBI misconduct. A top federal prosecutor in Utah, who would that be? Huber, is continuing to investigate allegations that the FBI abused its powers in surveilling a former Trump campaign advisor and should have done more to investigate the Clinton Foundation, according to a source familiar with the matter. While the Justice Department has not publicly commented on the investigation in almost a year because zero leaks, the source said Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker told former Attorney General Ed Meese during a breakfast meeting in Washington on Wednesday that U.S. Attorney John Huber is continuing his investigation into the wide-ranging allegations. The meeting was first reported by the AP. The source said that Whitaker did not provide Meese with any details on Huber's work or his findings, but this is the most recent indication from senior Justice Department leadership that Huber's work is still ongoing. The source could not confirm who first raised the issue at the meeting or why it was being discussed. In March 2018, amid calls by Republican lawmakers for a second special counsel, then Attorney General Jeff Sessions revealed that Huber was looking into allegations that the FBI abused its powers in surveilling Carter Page and investigating claims that more should have been done to investigate Hillary Clinton's ties to a Russian nuclear energy agency. The department has provided no public updates on Huber's work, and the source could not confirm to CNN when Huber will finish his investigation, or whether he has been able to substantiate any of the GOP's allegations. I bet he has. I bet that he's substantiated quite a bit. Huber wields significant power as a federal prosecutor with the ability to bring charges and convene a grand jury if necessary. Now, let's get to the next article. William Barr in 2017. DOJ abdicating its responsibility by ignoring Clinton uranium deal in favor of Russia collusion. This is wonderful news right here. I love seeing this. This is from January 16th. Attorney General nominee William Barr, and William Barr is actually being confirmed now, said in 2017 that he believed there was more basis to investigate failed presidential candidate, I love that, failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton for her alleged role in the Uranium One agreement that President Donald Trump's purported collusion with the Russian government in the 2016 election. Following a call last year by President Trump for the Department of Justice to probe into Clinton's role in the deal, Barr told the New York Times that there was nothing inherently wrong about a president requesting a probe, but cautioned that one shouldn't be undertaken because the White House wants one. Barr also told the Times, "I have long believed that the predicate for investigating the uranium deal, as well as the foundation, is far stronger than any basis for investigating so-called collusion." Lady Warrenon, glad you're here. Glad to hear. Bonnie Fish, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. To the extent it is not pursuing these matters, the department is abdicating its responsibility, he added. Very, very true. Now, in his confirmation hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee Tuesday, Barr was asked about his previous comments regarding Uranium One. "I have no knowledge of Uranium One," he told lawmakers. "I didn't particularly think that was necessarily something that should be pursued aggressively. I was trying to make the point that there was a lot out there. I think all the stuff at the time was being looked at by Utah U.S. Attorney John Huber." Huber, tasked by then Attorney General Jeff Sessions, is looking into whether the law enforcement officials ignored allegations of Clinton involved in the sale of uranium rights. The point I was trying to make is that whatever the standard for launching an investigation, it should be dealt with even-handedly. That's correct. This is why I like William Barr. Joyce McKittrick, thank you very much for that super chat. Now, brought to the forefront by Breitbart News senior editor-at-large Peter Schweitzer in his New York Times best-selling book, Clinton Cash. Excellent book. If you guys have not read that, highly recommend reading Clinton Cash. The Uranium One scandal refers to an alleged scheme in which then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton gave Russia control of more than 20% of America's uranium supply in exchange for $145 million in pledges benefiting the Clinton family and their foundation. Rosatom acquired a majority stake in Uranium One in 2010 and bought the remainder of the company in 2013 because Uranium One had holdings in American uranium mines, which at the time accounted for about 20% of America's licensed uranium mining capacity. Rosatom's 2010 purchase had to be approved by the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S. Such committee, known as CFIUS, is made up of officials from 9 federal agencies, including the State Department. Other agencies represented on the committee include the Department of Treasury, Defense, Commerce, Energy, and Homeland Security, and the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. In April 2015, the New York Times published an article echoing much of the Schweitzer book, including one item that not long after the Russians said they wanted to acquire a majority stake in Uranium One, former President Bill Clinton received $500,000 for a speech in Moscow. The speech was paid for by a Russian investment bank with links to the Kremlin as it promoted Uranium One stock. Canadian financier Frank Justra, a top Clinton Foundation donor, sold his company Eurasia to Uranium One, which was chaired by Ian Telfer, also a Clinton Foundation donor. Justra has said he sold his stake in the deal in 2007 while Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama were vying for the Democratic presidential nomination. According to Schweitzer, who also serves as president of the Government Accountability Institute, the FBI, headed up by now Special Counsel Robert Mueller at the time, appears to have ignored evidence of Russian involvement in the uranium market when they approved the deal in 2010. There was Megatons program that was designed to, in a sense, help the Russian nuclear industry transition from sort of military-based work to civilian work. A lot of detailed corruption for that FBI tracked in the 1990s and 2000s. So going up to the 2010 approval for Uranium One, it was really impossible for senior FBI officials, including the director at the time, Mueller, to argue that they are just completely shocked that Uranium One and these kickbacks were taking place. It is widely known, Schweitzer told SiriusXM's Breitbart News Tonight co-hosts Rebecca Mansour and Joel Pollack last Friday. Michael Russell, thank you for the super chat, my friend. The congressional testimony of Uranium One whistleblower William Douglas Campbell has led to the conviction of Russian executives tied to Rosatom in 2015 on bribery and money laundering charges in connection to the Uranium One agreement. This is a guy who was an FBI witness. It's known that the Russians were paying him $50,000 a month to do work for them, and some of that work included, according to his job description, setting up meetings with high-level ranking U.S. officials. That's not all in dispute, Schweitzer said of Campbell. That's all not in dispute. So this is a guy that certainly was there. The FBI found him credible. He got FBI executives thrown in jail, and they eventually pleaded guilty to a variety of charges, including bribery and kickbacks. So you can't dismiss, as some Clinton defenders want to, this whistleblower as if he has no credibility because he was there. Jilly Bean, thank you very much for the super chat. So I think that we're told to read between the lines, okay? Reading between the lines here, we've got someone in power right now who is overseeing the investigation, who is bringing it to its end, okay? The blockade is about to end. William Barr is going to look into these other allegations against people because Bill Barr is a fair individual. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and refresh and see if we've got any more. Nope, that's all for right now. Okay. So, moving on to our next story. This is from my friend Matthew at Truth Not Fiction Matters sent this over to me. Excuse me. This also ties in to our favorite Anon posting about the Catholic Church previously. Now, a Catholic archbishop in Brazil has banned priests from being alone with children. This is huge, huge. A Brazilian Catholic archbishop has banned priests in his district from being alone with children. Manuel Delson, Archbishop of the northeastern state of Paraíba, signed the decree on Wednesday, following a court order forcing the archdiocese to pay almost $2.5 million in compensation over the sexual exploitation of minors. Bill Barr is going to be the new Attorney General. I don't know who the acting Attorney General will be, or excuse me, who the Deputy Attorney General. If they make it Whitaker, I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be so happy if it's Whitaker. Now, Mr. Delson's decree prohibits priests from being in the company of children and vulnerable adults unaccompanied by their parents or guardians. It also states they are not allowed to offer parish accommodation to minors, while spiritual care must be done in confessionals or locations that ensure safety and visibility, according to Brazilian newspaper Globo. The decree was signed same day Pope Francis for the first time admitted the Catholic Church has an ongoing problem with priests and even bishops who sexually abuse nuns. Tony Hall says, "Oh yeah, Reed Creature from Jekyll Island. That's a good one too. What's his name? He's got 3 names. It's like G something. I can't remember his name, but he's a great author. He's written a lot of good stuff. and I've got a couple of documentaries by him too. The decree was signed the same day Pope Francis for the first time admitted the Catholic Church has an ongoing problem with priests and even bishops who abuse nuns. Speaking to reporters, they said some nuns have been used as sex slaves and more needed to be done within the church to prevent it. It is true, there have been priests and even bishops who have done this. I think it is still going on because something does not stop just because you have become aware of it, he said. We have been working on this for a long time. We have suspended some priests because of it, and more needs to be done. Thank God this is happening because the children need to be protected. All right, so now this is from a source of mine in Wisconsin. They are directly connected to certain individuals who have a stake in this story because they work in government in this location in Milwaukee. So, Bice, this is an individual. Federal officials confirm a raid on the Milwaukee County Register of Deeds, John Lefebvre's agency. The Register of Deeds office is one of the lowest profile agencies in Milwaukee County, but that is changing. Federal authorities conducted a raid on that office Wednesday, taking away numerous documents and several computers. John Lefebvre, a Democrat, has headed that office since 2003. The FBI can confirm that agents from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and investigators from the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office executed a federal search warrant at the offices of the Milwaukee County Register of Deeds on Wednesday. Pursuant to the long-standing policy of the United States Department of Justice, Peace continued, there will be no further comment on this matter at that time. Peace confirmed that the search warrant is sealed. It is not clear why FBI officials raided the agency responsible for keeping real estate documents and certified copies of birth, death, and marriage records. Officials familiar with the raid said the investigation was looking at vendors and county contracts. They had no further details. One source, who asked not to be named, said investigators did not raid the agency's basement office where land and related records are kept. Rather, the source said they focused their efforts on the first floor, home to the administrator's offices. Lefebvre, who is probably best known for his advocacy of transcendental meditation, did not return numerous calls to his home and office Thursday evening. Michael Meistelman, an attorney who often represents public officials under fire, acknowledged Friday morning that Lefebvre was his client, but Meistelman declined to discuss the raid. I have no comment, said Meistelman, who has been an attorney for former Governor Jim Doyle and Governor Tony Evers in the past. Word of the raid began to circle around the Milwaukee County Courthouse late Thursday, leaving many people baffled. What the HE-double hockey sticks could he do in that office that the FBI would care about? Asked one Democratic insider. The agency does have a number of large contracts with outside vendors. Lefebvre, 69, served a pretty undistinguished 10 years in the state legislature beginning in 1993. In 2001, Lefebvre once spent a week at the Maharishi University of Management in Iowa, meditating with 1,700 other people in the wake of the 9/11 attacks. He was told the Journal Sentinel's Jim Stingle that he was open to the idea that meditation could have a wider societal impact. All right, so my source said there was an FBI raid on Milwaukee County Deeds Office today. A person was just transferred to my department a couple of months ago, and they said they found multiple instances of real estate fraud and was told to look the other way. A Democrat has held this particular office and was about to retire and make way for the next Dem to step in and take his spot. So that is what's going on. There is real estate fraud going on. Michael Russell said, thanks for the big dig. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. So hopefully we'll hear some more about this, but this also leads me to believe that we are beginning to see the rebalancing of justice in the United States, you guys. This is extremely important because up until now, it was really, whoever you knew, it didn't matter what you did. It was just, who you could grease the hands of. Now, this also came out the other day. Jeff Bezos has accused the National Enquirer of extortion, and he showed emails threatening to publish nude selfies. I don't know about you guys, but I do not want to see nude selfies of Jeff Bezos. Quick vape break. Get myself a drink of water. The global murder rate dropped by 75%. Oh, yes, I saw that. Yes, that's true. That actually is true. During a meditation. I don't know how long it lasted for, but... Excuse me. Oh, Muffin, you guys, Muffin's having an attack. Muffin. It's okay, honey. It's okay. Oh, shh. It's okay, Muffin. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. Don't worry, honey. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. Oh. All right, she's got to shake it off, you guys. Sorry about that. So, some Cheryl Smith. In a blog headlined, "No thank you, Mr. Pecker," Jeff Bezos claims David Pecker's National Enquirer threatened to post sexual pictures that the billionaire Amazon CEO had texted to his mistress, Lauren Sanchez, including a below-the-belt selfie. In a blog post published Thursday, Bezos' CEO accused AMI, the tabloid's publisher, of blackmail and extortion. He claimed that AMI asked him to publicly deny any political motivation in its coverage of his divorce. AMI insisted on Friday that it did nothing illegal but would investigate further. American media believes fervently that it acted lawfully in the reporting of the story of Mr. Bezos, it said in a statement. Further, at the time of the recent allegations made by Mr. Bezos, it was in good faith negotiations to resolve all matters with him. Nonetheless, in light of the nature of the allegations published by Mr. Bezos, the board has convened and determined that it should promptly and thoroughly investigate the claims. Upon completion of that investigation, the board will take whatever appropriate action is necessary. Yes, you guys, Muffin's okay. Sometimes she's a little dog, and so sometimes she gets, yeah, get a trait kit. She gets, no, Muffin is not vaping. She gets, like, she gets excited, and she starts breathing too fast, and her nose, like, collapses, and so I have to, like, soothe her for a moment, and then she's fine. Cisco does it too. I guess small dogs do it. Okay. Bezos' request is likely in response to comments made by his security chief, Gavin de Becker, who previously told the Daily Beast that strong leads point to political motives in AMI's coverage. In the AMI letters I'm making public, you will see the precise details of their extortionate proposal. They will publish the personal photos unless Gavin de Becker and I make the specific false public statement that the press that we have no knowledge or basis for suggesting that AMI's coverage was politically motivated or influenced by political forces, Bezos wrote in his report. Bezos and his wife Mackenzie announced their divorce on January 9th. Later that day, the Enquirer broke news about Bezos' affair with Sanchez, with private photos of the two dating, quote-unquote. Bezos never publicly addressed the Enquirer's story until Thursday. The Enquirer is published by Pecker, who has been friends with Trump for years. Trump has often attacked Bezos, who also owns the Washington Post, which the president believed treats him unfairly, and rightfully so. In August, media reports said federal prosecutors gave Pecker immunity as part of an investigation into a hush-money scheme involving Trump's personal lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen. Blah, 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 blah. We know all about that stuff. Okay. And this is what I mentioned before, that the Senate panel approves the Barr nomination. Senate Judiciary Committee approved William Barr's Attorney General nomination on Thursday, voting along party lines to send Barr's full nomination to the Senate. Now, again, why was the Senate the target? Because we needed to be able to get these nominations approved. Okay, they get questioned in the first House, and then they get moved over to the Senate. And because the Senate is in Republican control, there is no way that William Barr is not going to be confirmed. This is where we see justice begin the true rebalancing in our country. The 12-10 vote sets up a floor fight over Barr's confirmation for later this month. Republicans hold a 53-47 majority, and Democrats cannot block the nomination on their own. So there is little doubt right now about Barr's confirmation. Barr, who previously served as Attorney General during George H.W. Bush's administration, was expected to easily clear the Judiciary Committee, where Republicans have a majority. If confirmed, Barr would be the first Senate-confirmed Attorney General since Jeff Sessions left in November. Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker has come under criticism for not recusing himself from the Mueller probe because they wanted him out of there so they could continue to control it, but they can't. Yes, Valerie, I do give Muffin Benadryl sometimes. If it continues any longer than just a minute or so, then I'll give it to him. Yes, Christine, the Chihuahuas do have trachea issues, and so does my poor dwarf beagle Muffin. I think we need a new attorney general. I appreciate what Mr. Whitaker has done, but I think the time has come for new leadership in the department, Senator Lindsey Graham said ahead of the committee vote. No Democrats voted for Barr during Thursday's vote. Senator Doug Jones said Thursday that he will support Barr on the Senate floor. Well, Doug Jones does not want to have charges brought against him for the fake Russia thing that they did against Roy Moore. Who is the authority to question proof of life on the missing SCOTUS? I don't know. I don't know who that is. But you would think that they would have done that by now. But maybe they're letting it play out. I don't know. So I have concluded that Mr. Barr is qualified for the position of Attorney General, and his record strongly suggests he will exercise independent judgment and uphold the best interests of the Department of Justice, Jones said in a statement. Other potential swing votes, including Senator Joe Manchin. I predict that Joe Manchin will go ahead and support him. He said he has. My wife makes that sound. Oh, God. Democrats say they remain concerned about an unsolicited memo Barr sent last year that was critical of special counsel Robert Mueller's probe. They also say Barr is hedging about if he'll make Mueller's findings public. Senator Christopher Coons, Democrat Delaware, announced shortly before Thursday's vote that he would not support Barr, big surprise, saying he remained troubled about the Mueller memo, as well as Barr's views on executive power. You guys ever know that, ever realize that that anytime Democrats, they speak out on political stuff all the time, anything they want to say, they say it, and they're never their opinion is never questioned. They're never said that they are not impartial. But anytime a Republican comes out and talks about something, in terms of the law, okay, the way things actually are, you got Whitaker and Barr both making comments about the special counsel investigation, and oh no, Mueller, protect Mueller. Barr told senators during his confirmation last month that he would let Mueller finish his investigation, that Trump would not be allowed to correct his final report, and that he would make Mueller's findings public in accordance with the law. Currently, under Justice Department guidelines, a special counsel sends a confidential report to the Attorney General explaining the prosecution or declination decisions reached during an investigation. Senator Dianne Feinstein, the top Democrat on the panel, said Thursday that it was particularly concerning that Barr would not commit to sharing Mueller's report and findings with Congress. Feinstein also pointed to the Mueller memo, saying that under Barr's theory, the president is above the law in most respects. Taken to its natural conclusion, none of our laws would apply to the president unless the president is explicitly named, Feinstein said. The only conclusion is that the president is above the law. That's stunning. The Senate could turn to Barr's nomination as soon as next week, so let's be looking for that Monday, guys. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell told reporters during a weekly press conference that it would be the next on the Senate's agenda after a public lands bill that is currently on the floor. Sorry, guys, I had to cough. I hope that that mute worked. Yes, they have incredible bias. Incredible bias. All right, guys. Well, we're going to check to see if there's any more posts, and then that's all I've got for you tonight. Nope, that is the end of the posts for the evening, you guys. Hopefully, our favorite Anon will post some more stuff after everyone goes to sleep. Maybe it'll be, I've spent many sleepless nights sitting there just refreshing the board, waiting for new posts to come in. Do you guys have any questions? Anybody want to throw anything out there? I'm just going to, BS for a couple of minutes, and I'm going to get these notes pulled in. And perhaps if you guys have anything you want to ask or something you want to throw up there and I'll say it out loud, then I'll go ahead and do that. Let's see. So that was Daniel Bice. We got all the way to Bice. We got Jeff Bezos here. Let's see. Whitaker is a great guy. I love Matthew Whitaker. He is incredible. He's got great character. He knows the law. He is definitely the man for the job. Oh, yes, God's Guy. Thank you so much for reminding me. On February 15th, there will be a yellow vest demonstration somewhere in the United States, I would like to suggest that everyone goes to the USA Freedom Army website, USA Freedom Army, for information. Here it is, usfreedomarmy.com. Chad, good to see you, buddy. Life is well. Life is going real well for me. So this is the U.S. Freedom Army's new website, you guys. You can get stuff here. You can sign up for them. You can get on their mailing list. I would suggest you go and get on their mailing list so that you can get the information about any upcoming demonstrations. Here is their founder statement. This is from the primary goal of the United States Freedom Army is documented in the post-constitutional resurrection. So go ahead and check this out, guys. I am a member. I would suggest that you guys join as well. And then you can get all the information about the upcoming Yellow Vest demonstration that will be happening here in the United States on the 15th of February. All right? Yellow Vest, red hat. That's right. Yellow Vest, red hat. Get a tab reloader for your browser. I don't know what that means, Neosphere. But yeah, 5 minutes are up. Let's see. I'm just going to delete these tabs so I can get rid of them. And I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. This was a good show. I appreciate everyone who came in here. Vincent Fusca, JFK Jr. called in on Able Danger. I heard that, and I don't know that I can say that that is really what happened. I mean, I don't know that that was JFK Jr. If anybody has not already liked, shared, or subscribed this video, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell if you do. I heard that a lot of people did get the notification tonight. I am also on Twitter at RedPill78, and you can follow me there. I started up a Minds account, but I haven't posted anything yet. I've got to get that put together. I've got somebody who's helping me with the Discord server so that I can get that up and running for you guys, and maybe we can all chat later when we are not in the live stream. But I think that's all for me tonight. I haven't seen anything coming through as a burning question for anyone. So thank you so much for joining me tonight for the Saturday night live stream. I am, as always, RedPill78, the corruption detector, and this was Saturday Night Live stream. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.